Hey everyone, Razzbowski here and welcome back to Theory Thursday. This week, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a hype-ass episode because we're going to be going over the troll cancelled leak that Scott left for us last week. Now, there's a lot of information if we brighten this image up, and it is detailing what could potentially be information on the sister location. Is this information set in the past, the present, or the future? We don't know, but we all have our thoughts and theories on it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're hyped for this episode, then please hit that like button. It really is appreciated. Let's shoot for 1,087 beautiful likes. And who have we got with us this week, boys?
You've got Ryan.
Other Ryan.
Dorco.
Let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. Woo!
So the first section we're going to be talking about here, guys, is does the text in the background of this leaked teaser image talk about the beginning, the middle, or the end of the sister location game? A lot of people are very split between what this might be referring to because, of course, you know, it makes sense that maybe it gets closed down at the end of the day, or does this happen before or maybe partway through? What do you guys think on this one?
It's a very tough one because we know Scott likes to jumble around the timeline of all of his FNAF games. So for him to actually leak something like this, he's doing it for a very specific reason. He wants us to believe a certain thing, and we know he'll always go in the opposite direction with it. So I'm going to say personally that I don't think he would spoil the ending of the game before it's even released. But I think this might be the backstory of what's happened. Like, this is part of the lore that's happening. For example, something happened, gas leaks or whatever, maybe gas leaks in quotation marks. And then they get moved to the factory, and the factory is where we actually start to play.
Oh yeah, completely 100% agree. Again, Scott is not going to reveal the ending to the game because that's pointless. That's just bad storytelling. Other than the information that we already have on the Steam page and the little bits of information we have on the pictures on IndieDB, we don't have a lot to go off of so far. And he wanted to change the game, he wanted to change how things work, so what better way than going from a bedroom or a FNAF restaurant to a factory where they could be stored. There is another element of danger there because you're completely isolated. The factory where we play could be very interesting, and it's a nice change of pace for Scott to do that. But I definitely think this is the prologue to the story. Because it's setting it all up, but it's giving us enough intrigue at the same time. It's giving us a hint to what's going on, but by using words like apparently a gas leak, and then it's got the things getting moved late at night. It's all very suspicious and dodgy. Because why would you move things in the dead of night? You wouldn't move things in the dead of night because that's a very antisocial hour, and you're probably going to have to pay your workers more money, aren't you? So financially speaking, you would move things during the day. So it's all very shady. It's all very mysterious, and he's building the hype towards the game. So this is the beginning of setting up the story for us.
It fits in perfectly well. If you remember, a while back we got a source code of the schedule for the animatronics, what everyone was theorising about the animatronics being moved to parties, and it makes sense because Baby's Pizza World is now dead, it's gone, so they've stored them in a factory facility, and they want to keep the business going, so they just use the animatronics for party schedules, and I think that works well.
Yeah, it makes logic sense, and the way this kind of feels like it's written as well is definitely something you'd read in the news article, and we know these to be like a big impacting thing. I mean, the first three words in other news, that kind of sells the story, but when it says things like one local is quoted saying, and it goes into all this, I think this is to set the scene. Like we've said from the beginning, this seems like a warehouse. It doesn't seem quite right to be an establishment, too metal. I say that every single week. And I think this really just backs up the fact that this is giving us a description as to why we're why we're going to be playing in the new location, because it doesn't seem right. Why would we spawn and start night one on in a warehouse when usually we used to pizzerias? This is the backstory. The fact that it says at the end as well, there is no comment yet from the local entrepreneur who financed the project or the venture even. It shows that's where Scott's not quite telling us all of the details about whatever happened here. So he's kind of telling us a little bit, but there's still a bit more we need to find out. Who is this entrepreneur? I think we could probably begin to theorize about this with a little bit of consistency, exactly. But yeah, definitely this is before. If it was after, like, why do we need to buy the game?
No, exactly.
A big, like, jump scares are one thing, but Scott's made his impact in the gaming scene because of the way his games play out. Because they're not just, like, you know, they're not a genuine horror. It's not a jump scare city. The jump scares are good, but the story is also very impactful. And that's what's got a lot of us. I mean, that's why we're doing Theory Thursday, man. That's why. So that alone, I think, pretty much says this is going to be the intro and definitely not the end of the game.
Definitely.
It goes along, as Docker was saying, to do with the source code that we had before, with it being available and stuff. It sets backstory to that, because when we were looking at it, it made no sense. Why would you hire out animatronics when you could go to the pizzeria itself? It doesn't seem... Because I could understand sometimes that you would want to hire out Freddy or that, but Freddy needs to be at the location because that's what you've built your establishment around. You've got your... If I was Little Jimmy and Little Jimmy wanted to go to Circus Baby's Pizza World, I want to go to see Baby. But if Baby wasn't there because somebody else had hired her out, it would make sense. I would be disappointed and they would get a bad reputation. So it just brings it ties it all together quite nicely, which is great to see. It's setting it up for the big hype and explaining everything, so when we go into the game, we know exactly why we're there. So in the second subject today, we're going to be talking about the children that actually got to go to Circus Baby's Pizza World, try it out, and we're sort of the test subjects, or the lab rats, if you will. The quote is, one local is quoted as saying, everything just stopped. There was so much excitement built around this place opening, and then they just stopped talking about it. There was only a handful of people that ever got to look inside. Kids from here and there, making sure everything worked right, you know. I guess they weren't quite as ready as they thought they were. Now, if these kids went inside, then obviously something has happened. Something major has happened. They blamed it on a gas leak, but I think these kids going inside have a massive impact on the story. What do you think, boys?
Yeah, we made a good point last Theory Thursday that these animatronics who have been possessed by something could be these kids from Baby's Pizza World. And again, it's more dead kids, you know. But I personally think that this is another act of Purple Man. I think he's, like Raz said, he could be testing something, like he's killed more kids again, lured them into this place and killed them, and now more animatronics are possessed. Or Purple Man is just being a complete poohead once again, and he's destroyed another pizza place and stole these animatronics for his factory, because it's suspicious why a group of people at the middle of the night have took these parts. We don't even know what's under these tarps yet, but I'm assuming it's definitely the animatronics and all the others, all the other parts and stuff, and he's took them to his factory, and we know the factory's Afton Robotics, and we know William Afton's Purple Man, so it all links up to me that Purple Man has caused this situation at Baby's Pizza World to happen.
Yeah, an important thing I want to quickly say, and I misread this the first time a couple of weeks back when we first saw this, said kids from here and there making sure everything worked right, you know. So that's not saying that the kids were the ones making sure everything was working. It's just saying that kids from here and there went inside, and also they were testing to see if things were working, and it's kind of just like speaking quickly. Yeah. So it mentions nothing about kids coming out of this place, and I've never known exactly kids to enter an establishment like a food place. Why would or whatever this was going to be a circus place? Why would they get kids in there to see how things are working? Like, you'd want adults to put things together, make sure everything acts properly, which again suggests that there's something that's going on under the what I guess we could say the tarps here, because we don't really know exactly what's going on. For example, it does say like strange things were going on during the night. Yeah, what the newspapers and things like that seem to be being told us that there's a gas leak, so it seems like it was intentional. And we know that these animatronics are most certainly linked to Afton Robotics as well. So it's tying all these together, and you know, he would know probably how to manipulate these guys into murder, and he could definitely set the scene knowing it's his thing. And if he's taken them back to then maybe his own facility or something that he's got like as a stationery, then that's just even more crazy, because we're involved in that. We know these animatronics also have a conscience, which almost backs up the fact that there's going to be some form of living person, or at one point that is inside the suit, sorry. And but there's so many ways this can go, because now we've got, like, you know, Fredbear and Friends 83, we've got, of course, the Fredbear's Family Diner, we've got the Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, and it's just like, where does this fit in? Until we get a date, we can't 100% solidify how this fits in with the story.
Yeah, I know what you mean. You guys pretty much covered everything, but like, it is very strange how they decided to get kids to test that everything was working. Obviously, like a freebie, they said to some kids in the street, maybe, you want to come check out this, see if it's like, you want to come check out Baby and stuff like that, maybe.
Yeah.
But it's just strange why they would, I don't know, why it would then shut down after so soon. It's really weird. Like, there's no mention of them coming out, but there's no mention of missing kids at the same time. So it's kind of like it's a kind of guessing game at the minute, like as to what's happened. But as we know in the past, we know that things have gone wrong involving children being stuffed into suits, being accidentally chomp of 83 or whatever you want to call it. Multiple things like that have happened involving children, so we can safely assume that these children definitely have something to do with why it closed down due to gas leaks.
The thing I want to talk about with the children, they're going in as target audience, aren't they? Like, the whole restaurant is targeted to families. They want to bring their children along to them. The animatronics aren't for adult entertainment. They're for the children's entertainment, so they want to make sure that the animatronics aren't scary, that kids will appreciate them, so you'll probably have a variety of ages. You'll have, say, a 3-year-old, a 5-year-old, and, say, a 7-year-old in there. And just to see what each one of them thinks, they'll ask them separately, what did you think of Baby? How did you like Foxy? Who was your favourite animatronic in there? And something has happened to these children. Where the Purple Man has set this whole thing up so he can kill these children without, they'll just say to the parents, bring them along, see what happens, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, gonna stab them. But that's what I think's happened there. The main point that I want to talk about just now is, obviously, we've all been speculating about these animatronics, and if we go back to the original Five Nights at Freddy's lore, the animatronics have been reincarnated, or the spirits of the dead children have gone into the animatronics, and that's what brings them life. And we've been wondering how Baby, Funtime Foxy, Funtime Freddy, Ballorina, etc. have this life, or this reincarnated design, and that's where these children come in. I really, really do think. Otherwise, why would Scott be mentioning children here? It doesn't quite make sense. And there has been a heavy comparison between the girl with the red head and the pigtails, or the orange hair and the pigtails from FNAF 4. So potentially this is how they've been linked in. If we go back to the location in Five Nights at Freddy's 4, we see various children outside and in the minigames, and potentially what they have done there is, you little girl with the pigtails, I see that you like Freddy here, how about you come to our new establishment? Slightly different animatronics, but roughly the same deal, you know what I'm saying? See how you like this new place. And that is how Purple Man's got his victims. He's already picked them out. Depending on how certain serial killers work, but a lot of them pick their targets out first. They don't just pick the first person they come across. So that is maybe another way to look at it. Maybe Purple Man has seen this girl, targeted her, and that's why the animatronic looks like her as well. He's already made the animatronic and then decided to see if he can put her soul inside it and what sort of make life from there. Totally crazy, totally out there, but you never know with Scotty Boy.
It could be another thing where Purple Man didn't actually intend to kill anybody. He just wanted the animatronic. So he snuck at the back, did the gas leaks to close the place down, and a few people died, like maybe some workers or something, or some kids as well.
A few people died.
Yeah, but he just wanted the animatronics, which is why he took the animatronics from that place in the middle of the night. He didn't give a crap about anybody who died. But the thing is that the news article doesn't say that anybody's died, or it doesn't say, like, they've just said it's a gas leak. They haven't said, oh, the kids who went in have died, the employees died, or something like that. I just want to make a point as well. The quote, what that man talks about the kids, and it says, you know, if you read it in the voice of Phone Guy, it sounds very similar to him, because he says, you know, all the time in the phone calls.
Great, that's great. That's a good spot, actually. That means that... That's really interesting. And that says he's a local too, meaning that potentially this could have been built near Freddy Fazbear's Pizza.
Yeah, exactly.
As like a competitor. Something as well that I was just thinking about off the top of my head is that it mentions gas leaks, and then it mentions like strange activity around the night. And it just makes me think maybe the gas leaks could have been used for all we know to sedate the children as they went in, and then maybe like in the night the guy went back in there.
Yeah.
And then he could do the stuffing on all of his things, because someone knows about the strange activity again. But that point about the whole thing, that's interesting, because that might not just be... That might not just be a way that Scott's purposely writing. Sorry, accidentally writing, because he does things for purpose all the time.
Yeah, because the person who says it, he says, oh, guess they weren't ready. Like a proper like grudge against them. And the thing is, we don't know whether Freddy Fazbear's Pizza is still open while this is the location, because this location says, we're not like those other locations, we're better. So maybe someone's done something to that location to keep Freddy Fazbear's Pizzas opened. Now, there's been a lot of debate whether this gas leak was intentional or an accident, but from the past locations about people dying in the locations, and then for the pizzerias just try and wipe it away without trying to show that it was just an accident. It wasn't us. It was just an accident. So what do you guys think about that? Do you think someone's intended to the gas leaks, which what I think, or it was actually just an accident?
I think it was definitely intentional, because the way this article's written as well, it seems like when they bounce off the concept of gas leaks in the building, like that just being a genuine hazard, they then always kind of bounce off of that by then saying, like, sources close to the establishment question the reports. So instantly we know there's something else going on under the hood here. And especially where it says strange activity during the night, and again at the end, the lounge group of cars surrounding the place, removing things again in the night. So something might have happened here. It must have been intentional. And like these guys have intentionally gone in the night to get rid of all of these things rather than in the daytime. So something strange has happened here inside that we don't know, because they don't want any of these other shops seeing the equipment being moved out. Something's wrong with this equipment.
I think maybe a better question to ask is this gas leak even real?
That's what I was going to talk about, my man.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, are they even real? Because if you like, they say reported gas leaks. Any, like, if someone's in on it with this guy, they can easily just say, oh yeah, something's gone on with the gas valve, we just need to shut it down. But
you know how fast as well, like, news people have to jump on a topic.
Exactly, so it feels like something more sinister has happened, and it's definitely got to do with the death of children somewhere along the lines.
It's easy to cancel a place, though, isn't it? All you need to say is it's a gas leak, health and safety issue, we have to cancel the grand opening. It's simple. Nobody's going to check that out. Nobody's going to question it, because you're looking after the people. It's perfect. It's easy. I don't think there was a gas leak at all. I genuinely don't. There are a couple of words why. Apparently cancelled. There are two words right. Very, very close to each other, because you would delay. If you had a gas leak, you would fix it and you would delay it. You would come out with a statement saying, we're going to delay it for the time being, hold on to your butts, keep the excitement alive, ladies and gentlemen, because we are going to be having a grand opening. What we'll do instead is we'll give you 20% pizza off. That on the first day. You have your prices, you'll get a free drink, you'll get a hug with Freddy. Just don't go too close to his mouth, you know what I'm saying? That's what I would do if I was the PR for this company, but they don't want it to open. They've flat out refused to open this, so unless it's a major gas issue, then I don't think it existed ever. It's
interesting how the local entrepreneur, whoever that may be, because we still don't know. I think Scott's put that there intentionally, because we're going to learn who this local entrepreneur is, whether it's Purple Man or Foam Guy or someone like that.
Someone who we don't even know about yet, which would be more interesting.
Someone new as well, or like he could have died. I don't know, because they don't know what's happened to him, because he hasn't spoke about it, so maybe he's dead, maybe Purple Man killed him or something like that. But yeah, I think it's definitely it's hard to say, but I definitely think something did happen, and they're trying to hide it, as always. They always do it. They just hide things because they don't want anybody to find out what's happened. So
yeah, I mean, the fact of this local entrepreneur, whoever he is, I can barely say that word correctly every time, I just realised. But whoever he is, like, I personally believe that the person who sabotaged Circus Baby's Pizza World has some sort of rivalry or anger, hate, malice, whatever it might be towards this guy for whatever reason that we don't quite know yet. But whoever this was, he destroyed this pizza place, and it's unclear again if the local entrepreneur who was the one who pulled these guys away, pulled them back to this warehouse. We don't know if it's him. It might have been him. It might be the situation where it's like a no comments scenario at the moment. So, you know, this local entrepreneur might be the person who owns the warehouse for all we know, and then it might turn out to be a familiar face along the line. But, you know, as of now, it's just a local entrepreneur. We don't know exactly who it is, and we're not going to until Scott puts more teasers out.
So final thing on the gas leak that I want to talk about is it says there is a 10 across the street. Now, if this is in a city, then the street is not going to be a massive one, and if there's a suspected gas leak, the fire department will corner off a large section, especially because this restaurant is probably going to be quite a large establishment. So a gas leak would see emergency services all around. So it wouldn't be just an apparently or suspected gas leak, it would be a confirmed one. because they would evacuate a lot of people, because that's a big dangerous thing. All it takes is one person to walk past with a cigarette and the whole street's gone up, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I that's another point there, saying that I think this gas leak was fake. I'm just going on what I perceive in Scotland to be what the emergency services would do. Maybe in America things are treated a little bit differently, but from a health and safety logical point of view, I would evacuate a big portion of the street. Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That was another Theory Thursday. If you have any thoughts and feelings on today's episode, then pop them down in the comment section below. What do you think happened with the gas leak? Do you think it happened? Don't you think it happened? When is this set? Is it the teaser that we saw the other day, the cancelled one? Is that set in the past, present, or future? There are so many things still left to delve into and to explore, but this week has been fantastic. Thank you very much, boys, and it's great to have your face, Other Ryan. It's beautiful. I don't need to put a meme in anymore. It's great. I think I might just to keep it there alive and stuff. But either way, guys, if you enjoyed today's video, then please hit that like button. It really is appreciated. And we'll see you all next week. I've been Razzbowski. You've been the beautiful bastards, as always, for watching, and I love each and every single one of you. Goodbye.